Good morning. Today we have a very special guest, Monika Sleszynska. Monika Sleszynska is a contemporary visionary. She's a visionary consultant, consulting individuals and organizations, helping them to achieve their profound potential through developing awareness. She's working with her mind. She's a true mind master and interdimensional heart activator. Monika, for me, is a person that has very good access to wider consciousness, to wider vision. That can help in our life, and whether it's our health, our personal life, or our business life, it's all very important. Welcome, Monika. How are you today?
Good morning. Thank you very much. It's a joy and honor to be connecting with you in such extraordinary times with so many changes where humanity is making breakthroughs and choosing new directions, clearly directions which will serve us.
Absolutely. It's very well put together, and I think just framing it this way, as you can see it, brings a lot of a lot of calmness, and this is what we actually need more than anything today. Today, I would like to discuss with you a very important aspect of living healthy in an unhealthy world. As you've mentioned, we are going through an important time in our lives at the moment globally, and it's more visual, it's more visible than ever before. What globally actually means. And we're going to be talking about how to maintain health, how to maintain strong immune system in our daily lives, and particularly when we're traveling. You are a true traveler. You are currently in Egypt as one. And it's also very important to know what tips, what can you use when you're traveling. But let's start from the beginning. Is it possible to stay healthy in unhealthy world?
Wow, this is a great context. Yes, I'm in a beautiful Nubia in Aswan on the Nile in Egypt. And Africa has such a wealth of nature, beauty, and purity, raw purity. And when living in big cities, big developed cities, and some of them unfortunately polluted cities, we can see the big contrast between quality of life. So if we look at the cities all around the world, there will be cities which are placed in nature locations on the sea with the rivers. And of course, nature gives a big course of development because it gives us wellness. And when we are well, we can develop. So on one side, yes, it is possible to be healthy in modern cities, absolutely. And in fact, cities have this complexity of what's available in terms of classes, in terms of restaurant range, nutrition specialists, and many wellness facilitators and coaches, and all this network that everything can be distributed very well, and we have a choice. So you are in London, for example, and you can surely see that London several years ago, although it was still a beautiful city, it has shifted. You can see green, super healthy or vegan restaurants and food for which you have to queue up in order to get a table. And we have yoga classes and studios and lots of private facilitators and even yoga studios in the companies and wellness clubs in the companies, making sure that we can be fit. So really it comes down to the very basic of being active and eating well. However, of course, there are a few key factors which cities just cannot win and cannot reply. And here comes the value of the clean air. So this is how I see spending more time in the locations of the fresh air on retreats. Some companies might even consider developing strategies to move across, perhaps relocate, because then it's a consideration of lifestyle. And now, as we have the internet and we can work from anywhere in the world, and the world is expanding, the markets are shifting. So for sure, new locations will be well considered, because on the very basic human level, it's an adventure. And if we look at the way how we think as human species, the companies are the same. They're just a collective mind of us, of people. And just like we love that sense of adventure and being somewhere else and discovering new, well, we know from the history, there was a time when America had to be discovered by Columbus. And this really takes us into the beauty that perhaps when we are facing challenge, when the challenges are faced in some sector or direct or with, due to some factors, it's just time to open new avenues. And as you are in London, London is a fabulous city where in the recent years I've been living between London and spending extensive time in Egypt in beautiful nature locations, also cities. And I have developed a super, I would say, really super healthy lifestyle in London. So a city like London is, I see it's really super well developed, and it provides fantastic opportunity to be healthy. So really it's a city where you cannot have excuses. You have so many possibilities, so many options to live healthy, which is really down to the very, very, very basic of moving, exercising, or maybe dancing, singing, because being well, it's more than just the exercise in the gym and eating well. And also the eating well, it's far more than having lots of greenery and detox, which of course it's fantastic. However, eating well, it's also about going back to the roots and recreating this very family-like nurturing environment. And here is why we see the very well-established restaurants. They hold those values of this nurturing and really taking care of food and providing more than just a quick food fix, really providing values, loyalty, quality. And here is why, as human beings, we really respond to this, because this is what we associate food with love. And also this links to the aspect of well-being in the companies and the mind care, because our mind functions the best in the family-like environment. And of course, we mean here the healthy family with good family dynamics, with correct, loving and value holding families. So when we can have this caring, honoring, respectful environment in the organizations, applied in the cities, then our mind functions really, really well. And if we look at the aspects of the family, like, well, as family, we love going on holidays. We love having time away. And it's the same with the companies. And I see that this is the trend which many corporations have taken already, because there is so much wonderful retreat-like travel anyway, and retreat-like travel in the companies, where the companies are organizing beautiful time away, team bonding, also facilitating retreats to make sure that they maximize what there is within people, because human potential is extraordinary. And it's really worth kind of refurbishing the simple values which were held very well 60 or even 20 years ago, because we see the development of the modern organizations as it's been happening. We can really study the history and look at the directions, and we can see the successful companies and the companies which have been successful for some time and then disappear from the market. So this is possible, and this really go down to looking deeper into our purpose, because now the companies align with the coaching processes, with the evolution. Because in honesty, we are supported by the universe in our evolution, and the companies which align with such a flow and such directions will thrive. And here is why we may expect some emerging leaders, new leaders, so companies which maybe have been just starting something off, may become great leaders, because they are bringing something new and fresh. And this is the big choice we have. We have so much choice. So this is why now the companies perhaps feel that they really have to take step forward to the steps forwards to look after the employee, because the truth is we love to show our potential, and everybody has a great potential. So I will mention my experience and where this knowledge is coming from. It's simply from working with individuals in hypnotherapy sessions, where I've been helping individuals to release blocks and limits and anything really, any dysfunctions. And it can be very little. It can be about communication. It can be about confidence, about feeling comfortable with ourselves. And really, I see it often with individuals and with the companies. It takes a really little gentle realignment in order to open people up, because as people we are opening very fast when we are in the environments when we trust, where we are appreciated, where we are acknowledged, where we are honored and respected. Holding those values uh, naturally opens up our potential. So the bottom line is uh, people love being given chance, and of course it's up to the company to give chance to the employees and to listen to them, to take care of them. When there is such an intention from the really high level, organizational level, this care really spreads across the company and people feel cared. And when we have the simple environment of care, that's a unique key factor, that we feel good and we just open up like flowers.
Very well said, and I'm glad you've mentioned that how important it is in a corporate world. We all well, maybe the topic of health on the body level, such as the movement, exercises, nutrition, is quite popular and has been out there for many years. So people are familiar with it. What I want to develop with you a little bit more in this conversation is the mental health, the aspect which is also starting to be recognized also by the companies, and people start looking into the well-being on the mental level of employees. Whether they're employees, organizations, or individuals, we're all people and we do all have the same needs. And I just want to ask you about your understanding and your tips on how we can maintain our mental health.
This is a fantastic question, and thank you so much for bringing it into this conversation. Well, if we look how the mind develops and advances, we advance with the speed and with the adding so many skills, abilities, and performing so many tasks when we talk about being in the company. And our mind evolves. It will evolve anyway. However, ever so often, it needs this slow down to make sure that it can rest, it can reset, and it can acquire the new, really upgraded skill set, because we are evolving. However, if we would be going on with the same fixed schedule, the same fixed program, the mind after some time may feel tired of it and stuck. So of course we have the aspect of the cultural activities and making sure that being in the company, working in a company, has the aspect of activities such as art. Art is phenomenal nourishment that when bringing this, it's absolutely a fantastic, huge benefit. So schedule, really basically a schedule in which the employee will have time for the extra activities, or where these activities are well embraced within the company. Within the company, or after hours, within hours or after hours activities. And let's imagine that the mind is like an engine. When the engine is being tested and taken to run the car at the fastest speed, you run it at the fast speed for a very short period of time, and then you bring it down, you need a rest. So when you want to break a record, you cannot run on the maximum constantly just when you started. The rest has to happen. And the rest means really allowing the full on reset of our consciousness. And this can happen when we are in beautiful, pure nature locations, when we are in caring environments, and especially when we do this together, when we do it with others. So then we create this beautiful coherency. And those are really the standard conditions.
Mm. That's what you mentioned before, the ideal conditions of nurturing our mind and body, and the importance of retreats, because actually retreats do provide those conditions and allow
And
a rest and a breakthrough.
well, another aspect I would bring is atmosphere. And really considering how the atmosphere of the work environment can be enhanced, because we know from our own experience and from the stories how the atmosphere in the companies can be really shattering for some people and very stressful, and nobody likes it. They just don't serve our potential, they don't serve delivering. They might serve fulfilling a particular task. However, it has to be with this attention and honoring of the individual um, as means of creating, holding stability. So stability is also a huge component, and all the different wellness um, ingredients lead to stability, because the wellness mind, it's a stable mind. And here, all of it collectively, we are becoming more sensitive. Our senses expand and they are more switched on. So we react more, we notice more the sound factors. And that's why the busy street like and etc. noisy locations will have an effect on us. And so it will the all over energy in the company, the all over approach and culture as a community. So community is the next big factor, next big ingredient. When the company functions as a community and really brings in that community aspect, being a culture, a really company where people love belonging to this community is the one thing. The other is really contributing to the surrounding community and being active within the community, such as charitable actions and causes and activities, because this is really the heart space. And of course, the heart space, it's also the great key factor. It's a basis for good mind development, for opening our potential, because when we look at this, the micro scale and the macro scale, so just when we look at how we function and what we like, and of course we are all unique and we have different likes and preferences. However, there is a line of balance where we all meet, and finding that line of balance where the corporation's employees will meet, it's a key factor to creating stability and mental wellness, because stability is that foundation.
Mm. Thank you for that, Monica. I would like to sum up, because you've touched up on a lot of important aspects with regards to the opening question: is it possible to stay healthy in an unhealthy world? The answer would be yes, even if you're living in London and you've experienced that. What about can you sum up on the daily practices? If you would like to share some tangible actions, what we can do every day to bring our immunity boost our immunity, basically.
Sure, of course. Well, it comes down to really understanding, setting up our quality lifetime standards. So choosing healthy food daily and this being as a more of a ritual, as a caring ritual that we really care about. We honor our body, we honor our body's needs, and we choose to go for the healthy option. And really, this is about the mindset. And here I would say that, of course, working with techniques such as hypnotherapy is great because it helps us to shift the habits and often instantaneously. However, we can just make these choices because it's a set of decisions which we can do each day. So in the mornings, we can just set up our mind in the morning mindful practices. We can just decide that we choose for this day to be healthy. We choose to do things differently, that we choose to give ourselves care, and we choose to give care to others. And when we apply those few intentions, when we set this direction of our day, it for sure will be much easier. And we have a choice. We have choice of yoga, Pilates, gym, swimming. And the other important aspect is that when we do it with others, then it's more enjoyable because often if a person who maybe has been neglecting a little bit the wellness side, starting on your own, of course, it's a challenge because you have to make it on yourself. However, when you do it with a team, so when you do it with others, when you join circles, support circles, when you attend events with such a support, then it's much easier because whatever change we have to make collectively, it's much easier. And of course, the biggest benefit would be perhaps, of course, addressing the stress levels at work uh, because they are clearly to be eliminated. And there are practices in which you can surely reestablish the inner balance and center the attention in as little as 5, maybe even 3 minutes.
Absolutely.
And if only I will give a beautiful tip. If only everybody was doing it at the same time within a company at the regular time, the effect of the all over well-being would really excel.
Absolutely, that's very, very good point. It's very often people, I mean, I have introduced yoga classes into companies before, several years before, and I can say that there is fear of judgment, there is fear of, okay, I'm not good enough, I'm not flexible enough to do yoga. And it's all untrue. And really, first of all, you have to fight those beliefs in people's minds that are absolutely not true. But once they try and they actually see that difference, then it's much easier. So it's just the initial step, usually that can be a little bit problematic, yet very worth trying.
Yes, I see that when it comes to the very practical tips, you are the real expert here with bringing in beautiful techniques. And I will share that, yes, what you mentioned is important. However, when we create an environment of care and attention, then people naturally feel encouraged because it's about moving away from imposing or making it hard. It's supposed to be enjoyable experience. Our bodies absolutely enjoy it. Our bodies naturally are made for moving joyously, being healthy. Our bodies love being healthy. And this is what I utilize in some of the health and vitality programs when we work on the deep subconscious levels to really shift the mechanics of the subconscious level in the group setting, so really the whole group can align, and it can take as little as 15 minutes. So this could be a big boost and a big support, especially when we're working with the organizations and groups. What I would love to add today, which is a really, really different, however, extremely powerful source of well-being. Well, we have to understand the simple astrological dynamics of the Earth existing within the universe. And ever so often, exactly every 3 months, we have equinoxes and solstices. And those are the beautiful dates. And as much as every day we have a sunset and sunrise. So I know many people practice it, and I'm the big lover of sunrises, sunsets, solstices, and equinoxes because it's a time to make up for any other weeks and months in the year. So it's exactly the time of a point choice where we can realign with the balance. And balance is a key because when we are in balance in nature, then everything else will follow with ease. This is a super, super powerful ingredient, the nature balance. And this means being in a rhythm, in sync with the cycles of nature. This is why having the regular retreats will be much easier. And then all the daily practices will be much easier because if the person wants to start just from the little things in a day, that will be really like climbing the big mountain. So this is the tip how to go around the mountain and find a much, much smoother path. Maybe you will even find the staircase or a lift.
Absolutely, yeah. The communal practice, whether it's a retreat or a class or online these days, this is very, very popular way of practicing and joining together. And you run those online classes as well. It's a leverage. I see it as a leverage to what we want to achieve, and in a much faster and simpler way.
Fantastic, fantastic.
It's
And well, I will add the sunsets and sunrises. They are just great injection of happiness and balancing as a simple act of appreciating the planet, connecting with the beauty of the day. And of course, when it's done in supernatural locations or attractive spots on Earth, then it just has that extra ingredient. And when so often we give ourselves that injection of something different, then really everything else will fall into place more naturally and with ease. And that's what I see important, that perhaps it's difficult to make the changes when really starting from wanting to maintain the same level as before. And really the message here is about realigning and changing. And when we in harmony with the rhythm of the universe, then we are being carried into that alignment and into making fantastic, fabulous changes with this. And that's what keeps us wealthy, healthy, and happy.
absolutely very well said. Monika, thank you so much for all your wisdom. And as I've said, you're welcome to introduce the program. Can you just briefly invite people for your wonderful programs that are online, which is very important today, where they can people can experience mutual support in meditation, in working with developing their consciousness, basically.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for sharing this and bringing this into attention, because there is an opportunity in every crisis. That's surely an opportunity, and this is a big call to look inside of ourselves and do something beautiful, to find the inner beauty, because we are full of amazing, beautiful things. And I welcome you to the programs. We have a couple of programs, such as Zamożna Dama, which is channeling the wealthy future self program, and vitality and health, also stability in fame. I think the first two programs will be more appropriate for what we have discussed today, because this is where we are connecting with a beautiful energy daily. And the daily practice of as little as 15 to 17 minutes, when we do it together, when we join coherently, it brings in a more enormous balance and beautiful shifting within ourselves. And this is also when we can do something together at such a pivotal time. We can simply decide to to honor our great future. This is an act of honoring our beautiful future and really making time and space just to listen to our wonderful human potentials, because everyone has a fantastic and phenomenal potential. And we create an environment with the minimum time from the comfort of your home or office, where just by connecting 15 minutes daily online, you realign, balance, and open up to integrating your beautiful wellness, happiness, and wealth potential.
Very good, Monica. I will post the link to those events on Facebook, so it's easy to access for everyone. Thank you so much, and enjoy the rest of the day.
Thank you very much.